school and graduated from Bradley Central. Went on to UTC, graduated from there. I'm married. My wife, been married to her for 17 years, Jerry Gibson, and I have 2 kids, Alex and Mackenzie. One's 14 years old at Walker Valley, and the other is 8 years old, where I just got through dropping her off at Michigan Avenue. So when I graduated from UTC, I worked a brief while in Copper Hill Police Department for about 4 months, and then I came here in Cleveland Police Department in 97. So worked through the ranks, but
what are your hobbies?
I like to, I like anything outdoors. Like to hunt, fish.
You do?
Spend time with the kids. I'm a band parent now, and I'm
I like that.
I'm a dance parent now. I guess I don't do any dancing, but I watch it. But try to help out with the Scouts. My son's very involved in Scouts, and just try to stay busy. And also church. I go to Elkmont Baptist Church. Been there.
Johnny Hood.
Oh, Johnny Hood. That's
Would
you know Johnny?
Very well, and I have all the respect in the world for Johnny Hood. Would you do me a big favor?
Yes.
Taser Jimmy Wright Sunday after church, and then tell me about. Put it on video.
Well, the only problem with that is Jimmy Wright asks for it, so I'm not sure if that's really something you want to do. Well, he seems too eager. He'd be eager to have that happen, but
Jimmy Wright digs graves for me. He has for years. He's a great friend of mine. And there's a lot of great people at Elkmont Baptist Church.
I agree with that. Johnny, I've seen one of probably the only selfies I've ever seen of him on Facebook was with you, a picture with you. So.
We were at the cemetery after a graveside one day, and here's the funny thing about Johnny and Jimmy. I asked him at the funeral, I said, does Jimmy pay tithes on that popcorn that he sells? And Johnny leaned over to me, and Johnny's a pretty serious guy.
Yeah.
He leaned over to me, and he said, I'm not sure Jimmy pays tithes on the graves that he digs, much less the popcorn. Well, we shouldn't pick on Jimmy. He's not here. I'm just sitting here thinking it's got to be incredible for your daughter. Is it Michigan Avenue?
Yes.
Can you imagine if pulling up and the chief of police is your dad and he drops you off at school? I guarantee you, there ain't no other kids going to pick on her over there.
Well, I think she holds her own pretty well anyway. So,
I guarantee you, they're very proud of their dad. I know they always have been, but more so, he's the chief of police now, and that's a big honor for you.
Well, I hope they're proud of me just for other things other than that. But yeah, that's. I hope they are. So they're good kids. I have a great wife, a great family, and very supportive. That's one of the things that gets left out. Your family, just being in the police work in general is kind of tough, but especially the last year and a half, really been tough on the family. But they take it in stride, and they handle it well. You're
going to be just fine. And the reason why is, now that I know Johnny Hood, your pastor, he will bring you down a notch or two.
Oh yeah. He's very serious.
Very serious. and he lives what he preaches.
He does.
He's a good man. Mr. Graves?
Oh, no, we're just going to have a conversation, but I am curious.
Get closer to the mic there.
I am curious. Take me to the day you found out you were getting the job. I know they made the announcement Saturday about 11:30.
Wow.
Did you get a phone call? Did Janice call you to the office? I mean,
no.
How did this play out?
Janice met with me on Friday, and said that she was going to make an announcement, and but I was told it was going to be on Monday morning, and then I was called later and said, well, Sunday we're going to make sure it gets in the papers on Sunday. She's going to make an announcement. She wanted to have a chance to call the other 2 candidates, and so that's kind of where I had it set. And but then Saturday morning I started getting texts and phone calls, and then I had an email, and then I had a phone call from Janice, and I just barely told my wife, and then I had to get off the phone with her and call my parents real quick, and because it was about to hit the news, and then so it happened a little quicker than I was expecting. I had my mind set on Monday, and then it changed to Sunday, and then Saturday it was out there. So it was really real quick, so it didn't have time to sink in real good.
Oh, was it? Did Janice kind of go? Do you still want it? I mean, what is it?
She sat down with me, and we had those conversations. As part of the interview process,
Sure.
and you had those conversations of what expectations were there, and we talked very openly and very directly, just like she did with the other two candidates, of what she expects, what you expect, all those things. So we had those. I knew I had to prepare myself and talk to your family, all those things that need to happen before you accept a responsibility like this. And so I'd had some time to do that, even prior to knowing exactly what the process was going to be, because I knew it was going to be a possibility. People had approached me about, are you going to apply? Are you going to do this? So I had that time to mentally prepare and make sure my heart and my mind's right to go forward.
Yeah. What was the difference between Friday and Monday? When you walk in the front door as chief on Monday morning, is there a difference? Can you tell there's a difference?
I parked at a different spot.
Good answer. I like it.
No, it was definitely
Good for
different.
you.
I think the analogy I like to use is the second string quarterback. The second string quarterback setting who fills in for the first string that's got injured. You're just kind of holding on, running day-to-day operation. That was my job. That was my focus, day-to-day operation. So I did the day-to-day operations. But when Monday happened, when I pulled in Monday, the focus turned and changed. So the focus changed to long-term, making the department better, long-term plans, moving forward, those types of things. And that's the difference. You've taken on a greater responsibility and moving forward.
Yeah. What is the team over there? What's their reaction to you right now? Is it?
Well, the reaction is the same, pretty much the same. A lot of them most of them are very supportive, very happy. Seem to be happy that the process is over. Period.
Yeah.
And that's part of it. But the guys are very open and very, very respectful, regardless of what happened, would have happened. But they seem very happy. They seem very excited about what's going to take place. Now, there's a few that I probably want their choice, and that's part of the job,
sure.
and that's part of your responsibility. If you make everybody happy, you're probably not doing something right.
That's
So,
I got a feeling you're going to win them over.
well,
That's the type of person you are. That's my opinion.
well, I think if I'm evaluated fairly, yeah, I think it can, because I want our department to be the best it can be, and that's if they're a team player and they want to be a part of that department, they'll fall in line with that, and they'll understand that.
13 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, Chief of Police of Cleveland, Tennessee, Mark Gibson is our guest this morning, and I can't thank you enough for coming in. I want to say this. I'll never, ever, ever forget when I found out that you were Chief of Police.
Mhm.
I was sitting in the stands at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois, watching my Cubs beat the St. Louis Cardinals, and I get a text from Brian Graves, and it said, official, Mark Gibson is Chief of Police. I leaned over to Milan, and I was just as excited as if Chris Bryant hit a grand slam. Punched him, hugged him. I said, he got it. Couldn't have been more excited for you, and very happy.
I appreciate that. And by the way, I'm not going to jump on that Cubs bandwagon.
Are you a Braves fan?
I'm a fan.
Nobody wants to really make it known this year. Well, anyhow,
Chief, you said that going into this new position that you were going to meet with every officer.
Mhm.
Give me sort of an example. Let's say Grissom is an officer, which is a stretch of the
God
imagination.
help us all.
And outside of saying you need to lose weight, how is that?
that's just. Whoa, wow.
Wow.
How does
Tase him right now. Get your taser out.
I mean, how is that? How does that discussion go?
Well-
what are you saying to your officers right now?
Well, the discussion kind of goes like this. Appreciate all you've done for the department, all this. This is my expectation of you. I expect you to be a part of the community. I expect you to be an example for the community, be an example for the police department. I expect you to do what we pay you to do. I expect you to go out there and do your best, and just to explain what my expectations are, what I want them to do, and kind of go over, some of the things that if it's something that animosity toward me or another officer, tear that out. Let's get that out of the way and see things we can do to fix that. But the biggest part is just asking them, what do they expect from me? What do you expect from me? What things do you want to see me try to do or implement? And if it's something that we disagree on, if they're asking me to do something that I don't believe is practical or works for the department, have that discussion of why or why not. And I think that's the biggest part, is just communicating. You often have this environment where I come in and tell you what to do, and there's not a lot of explanation of why you do that, and or why you're wanting me to do this or why you're wanting me to do that. And I think that's the biggest thing, just to let them know and give the opportunity if there are issues that you're not happy with, that's something I've done or something that somebody else in the department has done. Let's talk about those now and get that out of the way. And that's just to open the door. And, I've talked to most of the officers, just in general throughout this process. I know all of them. I've exception of some of the brand new officers. I've really had opportunities to see them at work and in work environments, but also in casual environments where they feel comfortable talking to you. But you just want to make sure you get that out there and open that door to any problems, and they have that chance. So somewhere down the road, a couple months down the road, they're not performing well. You go to them and talk to them, and they've got some issue that we haven't discussed. Well, I gave you that opportunity. So that's the main thing. Just my expectations for them, and then also what are yours for me.
Do you ever get a traffic ticket?
I've had a traffic ticket.
Before you were a police officer.
I've had a traffic ticket.
Yeah. What'd you do?
I paid it.
No, I mean, what'd you do to get the ticket?
Well, I'm sure it was speeding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's a guy in town named Bishop Bullitt. Robert Goins. If you ever stop him, he's our pope here on Whoop. Just let him. He said he got a ticket one. I have to share this story. His only ticket in his life, he said, the cop pulled him over because his tags were expired.
Uh-huh.
And when the cop pulled him over, he told the officer, he said, well, I was on my way to the courthouse right now to get him. How many times have you heard that before, Chief?
Well, it's a pretty common one. So,
there you go, Bullet.
or it's not my car.
Oh, by the way, I have to say this. Two things I want to say. First of all, as long as I can remember, I've loved watching that show, Cops. Mm-hmm. You've seen it?
I've seen it.
Is it pretty real? I mean, it's hard to make that stuff up.
I think it's pretty accurate. The only part, they add a little drama to it, where they're opening the door and having the officer talk to the person in the back seat. That conversation never goes well. I mean, once they're in handcuffs in the back seat, I mean, you open the door to have a conversation. That conversation never goes well, and the producers know that. So that's
they love that stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, every police department's the same. I mean, you can watch any episode, and if you've worked long enough in law enforcement, you've had a similar situation. So it's not unique to anything. It's pretty accurate on that part.
The second thing I have to tell you right now, Chief, is because I'm getting old, and when stuff gets to my head, I got to. The day that you and District Attorney General Steve Crump and Sheriff Eric Watson came in, and Brian Graves interviewed the three, which was, by the way, my hat's off to Brian and the three. That was one of the best shows we've ever had on Whoop Radio, hands down. But when you came in that day, I'm being honest with you. There were some of us that were like, well, we're afraid that others will dominate the conversation.
Right.
And Mark Gibson's more reserved, more quiet. No, that's not a negative. I'm just saying, buddy, you hit a home run, and I'm being as honest with you as I can. You hit a home run that day, and all I heard from people after the show, people who were listening, said, Mark Gibson did incredible. I mean, I think that you shined that day to a lot of people, and so good for you. And
I appreciate that.
I think, again, it was Whoop that got you your job, but I hate to keep bringing that up so much. So,
You definitely gave me the opportunity for that, so
well, we're glad we did. You did great.
I appreciate that.
Hey, you're talking about, you've been a part of the force here for what, 19 years, going on 19?
This started my 19th year.
Being a part of the force for that long, do you think that's going to be helpful in what you've got to do now?
Well, yeah, it's definitely going to be helpful because I'm not too far removed from, for lack of a better term, the rank and file. You know, where the patrol teams and the investigators, people that are actually out there on the road, and it's a definitely different mentality. I mean, you're not so far removed that you don't remember what things are important to them. What things that they expect from administration, and you also remember what I talked about earlier, the communication part, where you often get a directive or told to do something, but you don't understand why, and it may not be practical. Yeah. So and they don't really have a voice to speak, and so to let someone know. So yeah, it's I think it does help. I know each individual officer. I've had an opportunity to work with Sheriff Watson before he became sheriff, and I've had an opportunity to work with Steve Crump before he became elected official. I've had an opportunity to work with Senator Donaghy before she became criminal court judge. So a lot of the elected officials that are very important to the community safety, we've had that opportunity. Teresa Grant with the Children's Advocacy Center, worked with her. Department of Children's Services, their supervisors, I had opportunities to work with them. So those relationships have been established and already established. Right. So I can continue to build on those a lot easier. And yeah, I think it's important. I think networking through your career has given you opportunity to be better at your job.
Yeah. The one challenge, and I guess you know this, is rebranding the department, getting away from the last decade of scandals. That's what it's been. Colonel Larry Wallace, who's been the police consultant, has said it will take a generation. Are you more optimistic about that turnaround in public perception for the department?
Well, yeah, of course I am. If I didn't feel like we had that ability, it would I'd be a little hesitant to taking the responsibility. But you know, we have good officers. We have a good department. You know what people seem to miss, and I encourage people to go to our Facebook page and look to see what our officers are doing in the community. Most of it's unsolicited. We have Matt Bailey, who ran a race in his bomb suit on his own, on his own free will. You know, he just he ran a 5K run in his bomb suit to raise money for Make-A-Wish.
Who did that, Chief?
Matt Bailey, one of our officers. So little things like that.
Yeah.
The awards banquet that we had for the Cleveland 100. I know the mayor hit on this a little bit. That there's hardly any media coverage except for the banner and the Chattanooga, and so the environment nationwide, and a lot of this has been created by our federal government and what they feed to the public as far as supporting law enforcement nationwide. So you're already at strike one, and so then when you have officers in your department that have bad behavior, and that's what the focus is on. So you take a splinter and turn it into a bullet wound. It gets exaggerated. It gets a lot of attention. So that's the hard part. That's going to be the hard part, is the atmosphere nationwide that we got to change, and that's not going to be up to me or our department, other than managing our own people. we have that opportunity to do that. It is a cultural thing. We've got to change the cultural, the mindset of some of the officers. Not all the officers, and not a majority of the officers. Some of the officers. The atmosphere that's been created over the last few years, as far as disciplinary action. When I was a police officer, and most of the police officers, they can't tell you the process of disciplinary action process because they don't worry about it. They go out and they do their job. They do what they're supposed to do, so they don't think about it. The ones that know the process are the ones that are in trouble all the time, and they find the loopholes, and instead of replacing them with someone that wants to do the job that's dedicated, we have to kind of tolerate that person and kind of get our hands tied. So that's something that's going to change. That's something that needs to change, and we need to change the mindset where the officers come in, do their job, and want to stay out of trouble, and not focusing on how to get out of trouble once they get in it. And that's one of the things that has to change. So it's up to us. That's up to the administration.
25 minutes after the hour of 8 o'clock, Mark Gibson, the newly appointed, soon to be sworn in Chief of Police of Cleveland, Tennessee, our guest this morning. Speaking of officers you tolerate, how's Mike Moses doing over there?
Mike is there.
I loved your answer last time about, we have that block party once a year. We need someone to...
Well, I forgot about the parade and fireworks, so I have to give him that credit. Mike does he does a wonderful job, and I like to say it miracles itself done, because you turn around, it's coming up, and the next thing you know, it's organized. So
Mike's a good guy. I'm just kidding. I really do like Mike a lot. I have one question for you, and we're about out of time. The number one issue that you see you have to get in and take care of immediately, is there one out there that you have a concern about that you're working on?
Disciplinary action. Working with city council, the city manager right now, to hold officers accountable. The ones that are going to behave badly, hold them accountable, do it quickly. If they need to be removed from the department, remove them and get someone else in that does that in the hiring process. Those are the two big issues that are interfaced right now that are important.
And would you please check with Barrett Painter, the city judge, on how much longer my community service is doing this morning show on Whoop? I think it should be over pretty soon, and I can leave.
We may be able to get you a pardon for the rest of the time or something. I don't know how that
Ryan,
works.
you have any closing thoughts or questions for the chief?
No, other than take me a year from now. What is CPD going to look like?
Well, I hope it's bigger, stronger, and better. And command staff in place, a normalcy, a structure that where the officers are happy to come into work and do their job, and excited about serving the community. I want to be very proactive, very community involved, and I want it to be a big difference, something that you can see.
One more quick question, because I've gotten to know him a little bit. Do you ever get mad? And if you do get mad, how do you show it?
I get mad. I do get mad, but I show it like everybody else. But then I diffuse and make decisions. I never make decisions mad. I try to.
There you go. That's a good answer right there.
And I'm going to digress back to his pastor, Johnny Hood. Knowing him like I know him, I would say he preaches grace from the pulpit and teaches his parishioners about grace. And I would say that our new chief has a lot of grace, and he will need a lot of grace probably in this new position. But Chief Mark Gibson, I personally wish you all the very, very best and a lot of success, and I hope you're around a long, long time, and I know you're going to do an incredible job, and I'm very excited for you and very proud to call you my chief. I want you to know that.
I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Chief Mark Gibson, the chief of police, he gets sworn in. When is it?
It's Monday, 3 o'clock or somewhere in between 3 and...
Yeah. Then you get sworn at 4.
Yeah, I get sworn at 4.
Good point, Brian. Hey, everybody, have a great weekend. Be safe, be careful. Special thank you to Chief Mark Gibson for coming in this morning and being with us. And I'm just proud to get him before Steve Hartline did. That's all I want to say. Hey, God bless you. God bless Cleveland, Tennessee. God bless the Cleveland Police Department, and God bless America. Have a great weekend.